Hey, beautiful mate people. This is Dave Mate, founder of CircleOfDrink.com, provider of organic yerba mate and fine accessories. This is a quick video I want to throw together. This is a little chronicle of my day in June 2020. I visited the mate region of Ilópolis in Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil. And the Cultyvada Farm, my buddies from that farm picked me up in the morning from my apartment in Bonfim, which is a nice little quaint neighborhood in Porto Alegre, Brazil. I think I woke up around 5 o'clock that morning. I don't even know if I slept that night. I was so excited to go to this farm. This territory has potentially thousands of years of history of yerba mate history, or yerba mate as it's referred to in other parts of the world. This was a beautiful ride we went on. We saw, as you can see in this introduction, you can see, look to the left, look to the right of the windows. I'm driving in this little truck they picked me up in, and you're gonna see the mate fields. Beautiful, amazing yerba mate fields. When you go there, you just get invigorated. You're charged with the mate plants. It's an experience that's hard to convey in words. Yerba mate, you drink this powerful herb and you're gonna feel amazing. Particularly Cultyvada, we love this brand. We partnered with them earlier this year. Check them out, circleofdrink.com. They make some of the finest gourmet yerba mate, or yerba mate as it's known in Argentina. All right, guys, my name's Dave Mate. Come along on this little quick journey. Let me show you what happened during this day. Salud! Estamos chegando. Cultyvada, bem-vindo. Que beleza. Sua mão. All right, here we go. So now we are actually entering the mate fields. So the cool thing about Cultyvada is that they source their mate from a sort of collective, a group of potentially hundreds of different people, at least 100 different farms at least. So that could be potentially thousands of people who have been growing yerba mate, or yerba mate, I should say, for these videos for generations. So you're going to see me asking some questions in my clumsy Portuguese to the various growers. I'm going to be learning from them. They're going to be explaining the difference between the nativa trees, which are the old growth yerba mate trees that produce a sort of light flavor profile, as opposed to the quote unquote commercial grade trees, which are the younger ones really, that produce a more robust flavor profile. That's where you get the terms like moída grossa, the sort of rustic cut of the younger plants that produce a stronger, more muscular flavor profile. So you're just going to see me walking around asking questions. I'm not going to translate the Brazilian. I just want you to get a feel of the fields and look at the plants. And that's kind of how we're going to do this. Okay, let's see what's happening. everyone has a different method of harvesting herba mate plants. But to summarize, basically what they do is they allow the plant a recovery period of at least a year in most cases. So a particular plant could be cut, 3 times every 2 years. What does that mean? Because they're only going to cut a certain part of a plant. So they may cut one side of a plant or a particular area of a plant and then leave that particular area a year and a half, sometimes even 2 years time to recover. But they may come back several months later after that initial cut and cut another part of the plant that's ready to be cut. And then they may leave that section and then come back another 6 months and come back to another part of the plant that has been growing for 2 years. So it's kind of an intricate process, but these Brazilians have mastered this. They know what they're doing. This is amazing. These plants are in beautiful care from these beautiful, amazing people. I love seeing this sort of family-run operation. This isn't like some large, huge commercial operation where nobody really cares about the plant. Growers like this, they care. Okay, so we just entered this, what they call a very small plot of land, which is about 50 acres, which is quite a large plot of land if you're not used to measuring acres. 50 acres is about, imagine 100 to 150, small house plots, like a medium to small plot for a common house. Imagine that times 150, and that'll give you some scale of this particular region we're in right now. Not the region, the actual farm, this particular one farm, 50 acres. So Adinho over at Cultyvada, he's telling me that they don't use any agrotoxins, they don't use any chemicals to control the weeds. They just use natural plant material, as you can see, littered on the floor intentionally to control the weeds. And I'm just going to be walking through this little patch of herba mate plants. You're going to see some of the plants that look very old. That's what you call the nativa plants. Those plants produce a very subtle, light floral flavor profile. And like I said earlier, the younger plants, as you'll be able to discern, the ones that with the less moss and the shorter ones, the ones that have more of a uniform height, those are the ones that are the commercial grade in terms of producing a strong, robust flavor profile for the medium cuts of the herba mate. Let's go. It's como... So now I'm asking them how many kilos or how many pounds that is that they're tying up in those sacks. And they're kind of laughing at me because I said I thought it was 20 pounds, which is 10 kilos, but it's actually, no, I thought it was 20 kilos. But it was actually about, which is 44 pounds, but it was actually closer to 45 to 50 kilos. So that's a little bit less than 100 pounds. It didn't look like 100 pounds, but it may have been close to that. And then I asked them if they're going to cut it up and process it and begin the drying process today. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. We're going to throw it in this truck and we're going to take it off to the processing facility today.
Essa é a semente da erva mate. Dessa sementinha se torna uma planta grande assim, ou maior que nem aquelas outras.
So now we can see some of the actual yerba mate berries. For those of you that don't know, yerba mate produces a fruit. I hear that it's toxic if you eat it as it is, so nobody eats it.
Grande. Grande.
Debaixo ali, mas daí não sei.
Okay, obrigado. So now we're in the town of Ilópolis and we're super hungry. We're about to get some food now. I eat a mostly vegan diet, but I won't lie. When I'm in Brazil, oh man, I turn into a carnivore, man. Let me tell you, I destroy this meat because this meat over there, ruff, gets me like a wolf. Tastes so good. The best churrasco, the best beef, the best asado that you'll ever have in your entire life. It's so pure. You don't even need any sauce. You don't need anything with it. You just eat it and oh man. After we ate our lunch, we came back to the Cultyvada Farm, the direct processing plant, And as you can see, there's a lot of erva mate laid out. Now, it looks like a hot mess, but it's super organized. If you look closely, you'll see these little posts with signs on each section of the erva mate in this sea of erva mate. And that signifies two things. The name of the grower, because remember I said they're purchasing from a collective. They're purchasing from at least 100 different families that have been growing erva mate for generations. And that's going to have the name of the family, and it's going to have the weight, the net weight, how many kilos they pick for the day. So that's how Cultyvada is going to know exactly how much to pay which family. It's a really cool system. And this initial stage right now is basically they're going to flash heat the mate. It's going to go through that long cylinder you see right there for a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds or so, sometimes a little longer, at a super hot temperature, and that's going to basically flash dry the erva mate. It's going to essentially stop the enzymes which produce oxidation and prevent the mate from turning black, and keeps it with that green hue that we know erva mate to have.
Sta peccando!
All right, so the first stage that you saw is called the sapecado, which is the killing, quote unquote, killing stage, where they basically flash heat the erva and kill off those enzymes that otherwise would have turned the erva dark and retaining the green hue of the erva. Now it's going to go into a drying phase where the mate is allowed to settle and lose most of its moisture. It basically brings the leaves down to about 2 to 4% moisture content. And then the erva goes through a cutting process, or canchado, where the mate is separated. As you can see, Edinho and Edson, they're holding various cuts of erva mate in their hands. They have a sorting machine that basically sorts the erva. It takes away the palos, or the stems, the large stems, separates those and throws them off into another corner, another chute it goes through. And then it retains smaller leaves with smaller stems and separates those further into different cuts. So later on, when the erva mate is totally dried and totally separated, they bring it all back together to form the various cut, the precise cut that they want to produce, whether it's a medium cut or a shimahau cut, which is a fine, pure green powder without any stems, or a combination of both. Endless cuts that could be made with recombined materials. So just take a look around and you'll see what's happening in this process.
David, ele está regulando lá, ó, devagarinho.
Ah, por así.
Opa,
Es como regalando.
não é o certo, não é o certo. E aí aqui entra a gente na fase.
Hold on, one sec. Agora, depósito.
Aqui, essa parte aqui é a parte nova que eu vou ter que trocar, a parte do incêndio que ainda falta.
Oh, separado?
Aqui tá moendo.
Ah.
Aí aqui, cai aqui, ó. Olha aqui. Aqui uma parte e aqui é outra, ó.
Como palos, hojas.
Aqui que faz a Martin Ferro.
Oh, Martin Ferro.
Não é aqui, né?
Como...
Não, aqui não, mas... você viu? Olha aqui, ó. Dois tipos diferentes.
Massa grossa, como
Mais
se
grossa.
E palos? Onde fica palos?
Olha, ele tá mandando tudo de volta. Ele tá fazendo tudo pressão. Aqui a parede, aqui vai ter uma porta de emergência, aqui teve um incêndio. Aí nós estamos refazendo tudo novo, as máquinas.
E que máquinas essas para?
Aí moeu, David, moeu, sobe,
Molhou?
moeu lá embaixo, ficou fina, aí sobe, aquela ali tira qualquer produto, qualquer palito fora do padrão, devolve pra máquina. E aqui fica a erva, os tipos que eu quero.
Sim.
Aqui vai parar, já vai parar. Agora tá trabalhando.
Sim.
É tudo.
Está separando.
Cinco. Cinco
Tem
aqui.
5.
Dois.
Sempre com pó?
Sempre pó.
Somente com pó? Com hojas, não?
Display que eu dei.
E acá também, é o mesmo?
Elas estão vazias.
Alright, so now we're on to the packing phase. After the particular mate has been selected in terms of how many palos, will it have palos or no palos, what size leaves, will it be pure powder, will it be medium cut, will it be large cut leaves, will it be a combination of all those leaves. After that's all decided, that predetermined cut of erva, if you will, is going to be ejected out of this particular chute into this machine and then into a bag. Now the bag, they could bag up about 800 kilos an hour. 800 kilos an hour. And, you know, this factory, depending on what time of the year, this factory could be open 24 hours a day with, you know, 2 or 3 sets of staff coming in. All depends on the sort of year, the time of the year. So as you can see, they actually have some erva mach at the end of that table, and they're constantly testing that, ensuring that it's the highest quality, the highest grade, before they actually package it. So, you know you're getting the best erva mach if they're, testing it while it's happening, while they're packaging it all day long. These people really care about the quality. They really care about the integrity of the product. This is an amazing sight to see them packaging this beautiful erva mach. Check out circleofdrink.com if you want to try this mach. Just read some of the reviews. Many people are saying this is some of the best tasting erva mach I've ever had before. It has that real rustic, traditional, southern Brazil taste that is hard to produce. Dare I say, it's never been produced by any other brand out there. Cultyvada. This is an amazing process you're watching right now. Look at this beautiful crop of erva mach. I'm at the Cultyvada Farm, the Cultyvada Fabrica. Beautiful people, beautiful erva. Circle of Drink is now the representing Cultyvada. Circle of Drink is now representing Cultyvada in the United States as of today. We just formed a new, beautiful relationship with this amazing erva mach. Some of the best erva mach I've ever tasted in my life. Some of the best Brazilian yerba mate I've ever tasted in my life. Circle of Drink and Cultyvada collaboration begins today, June 16th, 2020. Araucaria tree, growing with the erva Araucaria tree. Beautiful. Look at these beautiful plants. Beautiful plants. Vinny? Beautiful erva mate.